Welcome into Chic and Ball. I'm your boy Els, and we back after another WNBA season to recap every WNBA team from worst to first. Starting with the LA Sparks, who had the worst record in the league.
You niggas for life call it NFL. This beat is my better half. I threw the pat like I'm Gino. Els caught it like Metcalf.
Hey, definitely a season to forget for my girls in LA. 8-32 overall record. Coach Curt Miller dismissed after just 2 seasons in LA. I paid very close attention to this team, and I pointed out many flaws in this coaching from the preseason and early in the season. No offense to the back end players, but Monique Billings should have been on this team over a lot of those players that's on this roster. Not only that, but early on, his rotations were bad and they stayed bad throughout the season. It was games this dude would pull the whole starting 5, and then when the media would ask him about it, he'd say something like, "Oh, we needed a spark and the starting 5 wasn't giving me nothing." And then the second unit proceeds to get blown out even more. So I don't know what kind of spark you was looking for, but he just couldn't get those players to mesh right. But I ain't gonna waste too much time on the coaches. Let's talk about the players. The top player on this team, Dearica Hamby, played in all 40 games, didn't make a difference. Rickea Jackson played in all 40 games, didn't make a difference. Aari McDonald missed games. Lexie Brown missed games. I didn't see the jump from Zia Cooke that I wanted to see. This team was last on offense. They ain't have no guard play, no consistent shooters, no scores. And I can promise you this team gonna have a lot of turnover this year. They gonna lose some players in free agency. They gonna lose some to the expansion draft. And some just gonna flat out get cut. Cause y'all can't perform this bad and expect to be back on this team. But with that, let's talk about the players and how they performed this year. Now, this time around, what we're going to do is talk about every player that contributed on the team, whether it's brief or extended. We're going to make sure every player that put on the Sparks jersey this year get a little bit of shine. That being said, let's start with...
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something that I've always been working on, and so I'm definitely excited to bring that aspect of my game to this team.
I really like how Azura looked in her return. She shot the ball well, 35% from 3. One of the most coveted players in the league with how she can stretch the floor. This was her second year in LA, but because she was injured, she only played in the last 20 games of the season. She was on pace to put up some great numbers. She finished averaging 9 and 7, which would have been her highest rebound average of her career. And I said this a long time ago, I don't know how her and Cam Brink gonna work in the front court together because they both real slight, they real thin. They definitely ain't the same type of player even though they can both stretch the floor. Cam is more defensive set while Azura is more offense, but I think Azura had a really good season, definitely something that she can build on. Next up.
And starting at forward from Hamilton, Ontario, from the University of Connecticut, number 10,
Love me some Kia Nurse. She's a good role model for the league. She's a good veteran to have, but I expected a lot more from her this year. She started in a lot of games, but just didn't score the basketball the way they needed her to. 38% from the field is not going to get it done, just not consistent enough. I mean, again, the play calling and the rotations was a little bit sketchy, but Kia definitely need to be looking to have a bounce back year. Big ups to Odyssey Sims. Finished the season as a starting point guard for the Sparks. She'll be an 11-year pro if she decides to come back. She's a hell of a player. I know y'all know that. But I don't know if y'all remember, she was on that undefeated Baylor team with Brittany Griner and Kim Mulkey. After that undefeated season, she came out and averaged 28.5 points the next year. To this day, one of the greatest scoring seasons in college basketball history. She played on 2 teams this year, the Sparks and the Wings, so you'll see her again when we talk about Dallas. But this was a big year for Odyssey. She definitely need to be back as a full-time player. But let's keep this thing moving, and we're going to talk about...
With the 3rd pick in the 2021 WNBA draft, the Atlanta Dream select Aari McDonald, University of Arizona.
I honestly thought this was the year that she was going to be in the starting 5. They traded for her, and I thought that was to make her the starter, but I was wrong there. Ironically, though, she led all guards in scoring and assists, but she only started in 10 games out of the 26 that she appeared in. To me, it looked like this was the year that she finally started adjusting to the strength and the speed of the game. After being a number 3 pick in the draft, I think we all wanted to see her hit that next gear this year, but she just ain't hit that button yet. The team went 2-8 in the game she started in. She just didn't play consistently enough on offense or defense. She also need to be looking to have a bounce back year, but she gonna be in this league for a long minute.
We got to pull in. This person's not hurting us. I got to have 5 people moving the direction the ball's moving.
Now let's talk a little bit about.
Hey, this question is for Lee. Lee, we saw some new moves from you tonight. Can you talk about how much more you're getting comfortable with playing and getting touches underneath the rim?
Yes, this is my first year come to LA, and
Played some really good games this year. I think she's adjusted to the speed of the game. She appeared in 38 games for the Sparks this year, so she was a very heavy part of the rotation. At 6'7", she should be shooting a higher percentage, but she do try to stretch the floor a little bit, so I'm going to give her a little credit there. And she should be blocking more shots, but she is a nice body to have there on defense. I think she got a lot to improve on, but still a really nice player and going to be in this league for a long time if she decides to stay.
#25, Layshia Clarendon.
Now, I briefly want to talk about Layshia Clarendon. She contributed to this team, suffered a bad injury. Hope she recovers and comes back for her 13th WNBA season. Very talented player. She recorded a triple-double in the first game of the 2024 season. Also, let's give a shout out to Crystal Dangerfield. She played in 18 games for the Sparks, started in 5. Just couldn't really get a rhythm and her percentages suffered, but she's a former Rookie of the Year. Hope she can get back to herself next year. Also, a shout out to Queen Egbo, former Baylor Bear, played in 2 games for the Sparks. Good luck to her on her basketball journey. I'm sure we'll see her again somewhere. And now, next up.
Starting at guard from Duke, number 4, Lexie Brown.
Y'all know I love me some Lexie Brown. I'm a ride and die for that girl. But she been battling with Crohn's disease, and unfortunately, I don't think we ever gonna see a full season of Lexie. I hope I'm wrong about that, but I don't think so. From what I learned about it, it goes through periods of remission where inflammation happens, so sometimes she'll be healthy and sometimes she'll just be miserable. It's a really sad story, and I hope someday she can get close to 100%. As far as her play on the court, she had a really good start to the season, but went into a slump before shutting it down. 30% from 3, man, that just ain't Lexie. We know that. That's after shooting 40% the previous 2 years. I don't care about the numbers though, just want her to be safe and healthy. And now let's talk about.
Number 9 pick in the 2022 WNBA draft, the Los Angeles Sparks select Rae Burrell, University of Tennessee.
Another player I want to tip my cap to because she played in her most games ever with 37 games, started in her most games ever with 7 games, increased her point average even though she only averaged 6 points total. But what I didn't like is with more responsibilities, her percentages decreased. Field goal percentage down, 3-point percentage down. She a shooter that ain't shot the ball well. I ain't saying she no chicken, but she was laying a whole lot of eggs out there this year. She need to be looking to have a bounce back year as well. But now let's talk about Stephanie Talbot. Amongst other players on this team did not have her best year, but to be fair, she was coming off an ACL injury, so we got to give her a little bit of grace. But to be honest, it ain't like she was lighting the world up before the injury, but she's from Australia. They have a long line of great players that's played in the WNBA. I'ma just tip my hat to her because she did a really good job at making this team, but the way things worked out this year, she was better off staying in Australia and trying to recover a little bit more. Now let's briefly talk about Zia Cooke. Zia. One of the most talented guards on both ends of the floor. She don't got no trouble getting to her shot. She literally got a go-to player's mentality. Her last name is Cook, and this is actually when the stars align because that's what she go out there to do. She go out there to cook. I don't think she ever seen a shot she ain't liked. The problem is they don't go in. Since Zia Cooke's entered the league, she's been one of the worst percentage shooters. She's only 30% from the field, 27% from 3, and she only shot 69% from the free throw line this year. So I don't know what happened. She just couldn't get it going. I don't think this is the last time we'll see Zia Cooke. She got so much talent, she's going to be able to make a roster because there's a lot of players in this league she better than despite the percentages. But for real, them South Carolina alums ain't been looking too good in the WNBA.
You had your bench in, or a number of your bench players during that stretch. What did you like that you saw from them?
Yeah, energy. Steph undersized, but gives us a lot of motor. Rae Burrell, big motor. Zia Cooke coming off of a big game, going to bring us energy. So it's an energy group. Dearica's always going to give us that.
All right, Coach.
Now let's talk about
From Wake Forest, number 5, Dearica Hamby.
She had an excellent season individually. All of her numbers across the board were up. Career high in points, rebounds, and assists. I think she did a really nice job being the leader, staying composed through all the losing, being the shield for all the young players. She really allowed them to grow. It was really fun to see. She really allowed the young players to grow while also taking a lot of pressure off of them. She only took 13 shots per game, which led the team, but not as nearly as many as the top players on the other teams take. She could have easily said, bruh, screw these rookies, I'm taking all the shots, but she didn't. She spread the ball around and let the rooks have they shine. She let the other players try to get something going. Not only was she a great leader on the court, she capped it off with the WNBA Kim Parrott Sportsmanship Award. The late great Kim Parrott won 2 WNBA championships before passing away in 1999 after a 7-month battle with cancer. This award is presented to the player who exemplifies the ideals of sportsmanship on the court, including ethical behavior, fair play, and integrity. So this ain't just me talking. The WNBA recognized her leadership as well. Now let's talk about...
With the 4th pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Los Angeles Sparks select Rickea Jackson, University of Tennessee.
A remarkable rookie year given the circumstances. I don't think she had a role on this team, to be honest. In the beginning, it seemed like she was going to be the first off the bench. Then the starters couldn't score, so she went into the starting lineup. So it was real sketchy to watch, but I think she did find her niche on offense. And let me tell you how good she was on offense. She shot 45% from the field as a rookie. To put that in perspective, that's better than any wing player that's entered the W within the last 10-15 years. I went back and did the research, including players like Maya Moore, Jackie Young, Elena Deladon, Diamond DeShields. None of them shot over 45% in their rookie year. It's the highest field goal percentage for a rookie wing since Angel McCoughtry in 2009 when she shot 47%. To compare those two seasons, Angel McCoughtry only shot 51 three-pointers in their rookie year at 29%. Rickea Jackson shot 124 three-pointers at 35%. So she's taking far more threes and still playing efficient. But let's be real, Rickea, we love you, but you got to do a little bit more on the other end. But outside of that, if she keep this up, LA going to be right back in the playoffs real soon. Now, before I give you my closing rant, let's talk about...
From Stanford, number 22, Cameron Brink.
The anchor on defense, the vocal leader, had a pretty good rookie season. Nothing spectacular if you just look at the numbers. Only 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks. I ain't got no doubt she gonna come back strong and put it all together. It's really about can they surround her with some better players, because what she can do can't go unnoticed. Altering shots, jumping on guards on the perimeter. That's why you don't really care much about her rebound numbers, because she's not really chasing rebounds. She's more looking to contest shots and get stops. She'll let her teammates and her point guards grab the ball and go so they can easily get in transition. So that's what this team need. They just need a guard that can rebound and run the floor with her, because you're not getting that from Rickea as great as she is. And Cam needs the attention off of her to perform well on offense. Not that she can't get her own shot, because she definitely can, but the double teams and the physicality get to Cam, and she can get in foul trouble real quick. I mean, I know it would be nice sometimes to get an easy layup and not have to spot up or go off the dribble all the time. What I didn't like, which I know was out of her control, was Cam Brink only averaged 22 minutes a game. Like, what the fuck is that? She one of the more conditioned players in the league. No reason she should only play 22 minutes a game. I'ma say this now because I'll probably say this on every review show. The WNBA do a terrible job of promoting and developing players. Stars and top draft picks get regulated to sitting on the bench for 4 and 5 year players that ain't done shit in the league. You got players that would actually grow the W's popularity, they get cut or get very little opportunity to even make the team or make any kind of play when they get on the court. But for Cameron Brink, she the best player on this team hands down. And they need to get some real talent in there because that team in Portland is coming and she's going to be looking for a new home. She recently said that she would love to have a team back in Portland, then boom, less than 6 months later the W announced a team coming in Portland. I don't think it would be smart for her to leave the city of LA, but I'm pretty sure she missed being home because she played college basketball in California. And right around the time when that rookie contract expires, that team in Portland gonna be coming in. And if it's not no differences in salaries, then why not just go home? Lastly, this team will look a lot different this year. I'm expecting a lot of turnover. They need more vets. They need more scoring. Very simple. Let's get it done. Beat it up in the comments. Let me know how y'all like this LA team. Who do you want to see back? Who should they go get? Tough road ahead to get back into the playoffs, but they got some cornerstone players to help them get there. But there you have it, our review of the Los Angeles Sparks 2024 season. Thank you everybody for listening and watching. I'm your boy Els for PRNM. Talk to you on the next one.